Hello, YouTube. So, it feels awkward with you sitting there.
Do you want me to sit next to you?
No. Like, just recording in front of someone else.
Yeah, no. I get you. That's okay. I felt awkward just being by myself when I was trying to do this, so.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, hi, YouTube. It's Shav again. Second video. And I'm recording from my home bee. And my partner is behind the camera, and they are going to be chiming in on the conversation. They're doing a paint by numbers right now. It feels weird, like, recording in front of them, even though, like, I'm around you all the time. It feels weird recording.
Because you're, like, not talking to me. Or, like...
Yeah.
Just pretend like you're talking to someone else that is already here. Like, not like your phone.
Yeah.
Not the perspective.
It helps me be more authentic.
Right.
Well, I feel like the reason that I feel nervous kind of has to do with the question that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is, what does it mean to be a gender? Because I think I feel nervous because I'm just, like, performing, and gender is a performance, and I feel like recording myself is capturing a performance I'm currently doing of my gender expression.
Right. People who see you are able to see your expression of gender as you express your opinion of gender. It's kind of a vulnerable state to be in. Not to make the pressure worse or anything.
No. I can take the pressure.
But what do you think of what first comes to your mind when you think of gender?
When I hear the word gender, I first think of all of the things that are not cisgender.
Right. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like, just when I first hear the word gender, I think of transgender, non-binary.
Yeah.
I don't think of cisgender.
Right. You think of the spectrum that
exists.
Right, which is how everybody should think of it, I feel like. But I mean,
M or F.
M or F, male or female. But what is that like?
Or what's?
Wait, is it male or female? No, that's
X?
sex, because it would be.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times the questions that they ask, like even when you're like filling out a job application or something and you have to like tell them your gender, and like obviously you can like opt out of it, but it's like, do they usually say male and female? Because that's like,
I swear, like, they don't put sex,
yeah,
male or female, like, it's
they
gender.
Put gender, yeah,
right?
And like, yeah, no, I feel like they do. Like, I've definitely noticed that before. And
you need to change that.
If, like, yeah, I'm like, I feel like you could dispute this some way or another.
Because
like, that's not.
As a trans person, I acknowledge that though I am medically transitioning, I'm not transitioning to a male.
Right.
Like, I was biologically born, my sex is female. Like, if the question on those documents for sex, like, it make me less comfortable.
Right. Because, I mean, that is a little bit more male or female.
Yeah.
Like, you can obviously get surgery as well to change that, but even then, it's not like, you know, like, the gender aspect of it is not what they're asking.
That leads us to colonization, I think.
How so? Tell me about it.
Because, well, we're talking about, like, documents and paperwork.
Right,
which has to do with being under a system.
Yeah, and it has to do with everything being black and white, and like, don't even get me started on the medical system in general, but like documents and paperwork in the medical system too, and the way that
it's just a barrier to care.
Yeah.
Like, when you think of people trying to immigrate into this country, also, the documentation is literally just a barrier. Like, the fact that it's so hard to get the documentation, and now the DACA recipients, like, are getting their shit revoked, and it's just documents.
It's not even
because if anyone saw them, and people who know them in their life know them as someone who lives here, like,
and
the paperwork is just a stupid thing that.
So the government can have what, like, statistics, I guess, but like, the statistics and just whatever data they're trying to compile here, whatever they're trying to gather with like this straight black and white, like it's not ever going to be accurate. And that perspective coming from the elite, for lack of a better word, the higher up,
Yeah.
the 1%,
who has the
like,
power.
right? Like, why and what are they, like, what is their intention with that outside of just like marginalizing people and like
it's like under colonization, like there's so many ways to oppress people, and there's some ways that are like obvious and some ways that are less obvious, like documentation.
Mm-hmm. But even still, when you look at it, it's like that's so obvious.
Like, like that's an obvious harm against a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, I feel like, okay, well, something that like I've been thinking about a lot is like how to take care of myself and self-care and taking care of your body and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even that is like the things that I'm having to go out of my way to learn the right information, because like there's a colonized version of what that looks like, and that's just like what's like given to you, and you have to like channel, like get through that noise and to find like what is actually true for.
Dude, yeah, I was literally thinking about this the other day, like specifically with self-care, like the way that looks like, and like the aspect of grooming, like, you know, like the westernized, colonized idea of the way that your hair should look like in like under the fact that you are clean, like you are, you know, you're groomed, you're taking care of yourself so you look a certain way. But like the access to all of this stuff that it takes to groom, let alone even caring about looking that way, like, is so inaccessible for so many people. I mean, like the access to it, at least. Yeah. You know, and it's like
I love those people I see who like give people haircuts, like homeless people, haircuts, or just like free. Just give out free haircuts to people. Like I feel like that's like, it seems so small, but it's like it goes a long way.
Yeah, especially in this society where it's like, if you don't look a certain way, if you don't look like this specific image of, you know, proper cleanliness, you know, I just hate even saying that word, because it's like, why am I talking about being clean when it comes to like, I don't know, just something as small as like taking somebody seriously, like, and not assuming that they're like on drugs or something like that, you know, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, that even language itself is colonized in a way that's supposed to oppress people just by that word, like clean. The context matters so much of what you're talking about. And I feel like that is one thing that, like, where self-care, I feel like, has been sold to us in a way that has led us to, like, people being lonely despite having all this increased access to, like, telehealth therapy. Like, there's still clearly a problem, and I feel like that's because, like, what we, like, therapy that's like advertised to you, or like the most accessible form of therapy, even if it is accessible to you, has been so colonized, and that it doesn't care about the context of who you are, what's going on in your life. It's just like, what's your problem? Here's this pill. Go outside and like meditate for a second. Or like,
it's all big pharma.
Yeah, like I feel like having, or like taking care of my body has even shown itself to be what I need to do, only because I was starting to try and like decolonize therapy as a concept, because even as a psychology student, like I feel like I was just like taught, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's like, just, no, sorry, go ahead and finish.
Like, I think understanding the context of what's going on in your life and the systems you're involved in is the reason you're probably feeling the way you do, not because of like your individual personality.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, just because I can't afford to get a full wax every weekend doesn't mean whatever that I neglect myself.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of jump is that? Like, especially
like your
since
social capital. Like, your
exactly.
social capital is less because you don't look like you take care of yourself.
Right. And like, what is that idea of taking care of myself? Like people who like us, like, make their own deodorant and toothpaste and shit, and like everybody's always like, ugh, like you probably stink and stuff, but it's like, no, like, genuinely we're taking care of ourselves in a way that's more affordable, in a way that's less toxic, in a way that it still counts as taking care of ourselves. Like, we're still clean in the context of what that is supposed to mean. Like, we aren't rotting.
And like, it's so weird that like our minds are so colonized that I wouldn't even like, I remember so many things that I was taught that I was like, I'm realizing like, oh my god, like that was like, I can think of even like my parents and my family, I'll just say generally my family being fucking like racist, saying that black people smell because they use coconut oil, or like they have a smell and it's like coconut, and like that's, and like I'm just like, what?
That is, yeah, like coconut smells delicious. What about it?
Like, it doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't even have to make sense for you to understand that it's racist.
Yeah.
But I think like understanding is the important part, because it's understanding the system of racism.
Right.
And ignorance is power, unfortunately, for white people. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I guess just realizing all the places in your life where colonization plays a role, and like in your past too.
And in your family too, and like the generations before you, like the way that they think about colonization. Like, I feel like just aside from like all of the societal, you know, like the way that we learn from what we hear and what we're exposed to, like specifically in the education system, the way that colonialization is presented to us, and like what we're told it is, and how that has changed over generations too, versus what we are able to consume outside of that, and like educate ourselves, you know, like
ancestral healing of trauma.
Right. And not just through like our great ancestors who did the direct harm, but also through our ancestors who are still here, who are currently living in that state of just ignorance.
Yeah, and like, I do firmly believe that, and like, I believe that there is a better chance for people to not carry on that ancestral trauma to their like next of kin. Like, I feel confident saying that I know that I'm willing to do the work, not just now, it's like a lifetime of work. Like, it's just a way of thinking that you have to adopt and exercise for the rest of your life. And like, I accept that as a responsibility, and I feel hopeful that more people are going to accept the responsibility that they have to heal their ancestral wounds.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to talk about how to do that. Like you said, just kind of like, you know, educating yourself in a more
we need to look to black people, we need to look to indigenous people, and we need to be aware of the information and spread the information where we can.
Yeah, I agree. I think the work is plausible. It can
And it's
be
like
done.
there's practices that are like there are sacred practices that by no means should we be intruding upon and colonizing and just perpetuating the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what they want to share with us is what we accept as information. I don't think we need to be prying and researching these indigenous communities' practices. Like sometimes there's a reason why you can't find an indigenous person's like coming of age ceremony that they do, because like that's their like we don't that's their experience. We're not here to like
and that's how we
produce it on a mass level.
Yeah, exactly. And we can exist and coexist with everyone and spreading love and care amongst all our neighbors, and you know that can, I mean, in no way make up for or atone for what has been done, but to at least like allow for the pain to be felt, like the grieving that not only you but all ancestors have put upon themselves by either just ignoring this horrible thing that is constantly being perpetuated, because it's uncomfortable to them, because they will feel sadness and grief, and like that's exactly right, like that's what needs to be felt.
I feel like that kind of like brings us to the point what we want to talk about too, was like in looking at astrology, which also in turn is kind of looking at the larger context of your life instead of just looking at your personal little bubble. Like Pluto's the generational like planet, and I don't know that much, but I know as much to say that like there's a generational shift, like a collective consciousness shift, with a transit that happened with Pluto, and I feel like with this eclipse season, it's like coming to light to me that because like with that collective shift, I'm like, what, like we need to like I need to do canvassing, like I need to do something like in my community to like spread this collective change sentiment and like wake people up to it. But I think that the way to do that is like it's not some overarching thing you have to do. Like I think it's just you embodying it in your own life, and that part will kind of come naturally to you.
Yeah, I feel like so many people are like, well, I don't know, will like slack in other parts of their devotion to just not being ignorant, because they're like, oh, like I'm like a poser, I don't actually do any of like the canvassing or the like protesting and things like that, but like that is not the only way that this sort of rebellion can exist. Like in order to shift a collective mind, you have to be and exist against the collective, and the more people that do that and resist in that way, the more it will spread.
I think something that I'm like a conclusion I keep hitting the wall of like over and over again when I go on my thought, to quote Sherlock, actually, I've been watching Sherlock again. He calls it his mind palace. Sherlock Holmes calls his brain like his mind palace, like where he goes to think and he'll just be in his mind palace for hours, and that's how I feel sometimes. But anyways, in my mind palace, a conclusion I've been coming to a lot recently is like just having to sit with your ideas in your body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a chronic thinker. I am a Virgo rising, and I have lots of mercurial energy to me. And I'm always in my head a lot, and I think that definitely like is a pro, but it's also a con, and I really need to work on it. And I'm trying to take more responsibility for like acknowledging that I need to just sit with my ideas. Like all these ideas I'm having, I'm not like, where in my body do I feel this idea is like I'm thinking about it too much. Like maybe there's like, I don't know, like tension in my shoulders and my neck because I've just been ruminating on this thought and it's like being stored here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to be thinking of things like that in that framework more. Like,
It's kind of like grounding yourself, like bringing yourself back to like right now, like not just this thought that exists in your head, but like bringing it to fruition just by acknowledging the way that it is existing in your body. Like it is not just a thought, it is manifesting in the way in your subconscious, in the way that you hold yourself. And it's, you can't just dismiss that. And I think, I mean, not that you do, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like,
yeah.
with thoughts is something that I struggle with too. Like, sitting with each, and especially as somebody with ADHD and, like, having, like, a million thoughts, like you said, like, kind of being able to recognize the patterns and the thoughts that are coming up more frequently and, what might actually be showing from your subconscious in other ways, like through your body. You can check for your body, through your body, how your mind is thinking, and then you can see the manifestation of your mind through your body too. Like it's all like a cycle.
And I think that makes perfect sense. And I think that thinking is what's so important because especially somebody who struggles to like name emotions and process them and feel them, I think that if you can't intellectualize it, you just have to feel it. And I think that I over intellectualize it because I can't feel it, but I think that like I definitely need to like do more research into other like mind body therapy forms. Like I like the idea of like if you feel like you don't know how you feel or like how you've been feeling lately, like look through the music you've been listening to and like find what like keywords in the songs or something like and I don't know, I feel like for me that like it sounds silly when you think about it, so you don't know how you feel, but like I think that it's important to acknowledge that you kind of have to sit in your body, and you might have to sit in your body for a while before you even can answer that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't embody things that I've been thinking like till months later.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you're alone. Like I think there's a lot of like part of like colonization of the mind and health and just the way that we think about feelings and our mental health and our physical health as separate entities. Like I think bringing those two together is a huge process that does not come naturally to a lot of people because of the way that it's set up. It's like the word feelings can pertain to both your mind but also your body. Like it's not something like the word even in and of itself is not separate. Like it's all the same, which is why so many people I think get confused when they ask you like how you're feeling. Like I want to say I'm feeling tense in my shoulders. Like that is my feeling. However you interpret that to whatever.
And someone be like, "Oh, like are you stressed?"
Right. Yeah. It's like I guess, but maybe it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to think of let me look at my notes here. Yeah, I guess just learning how to navigate life through systems that have control over your life
Mm-hmm.
just can seem so daunting. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to learn about all of these things to understand how to do that. And I think it takes time because I'm someone who takes a while to actually feel what I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, I have the ability to learn a lot, but I don't actually process what I learned until like a
Mm-hmm.
while later.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of people might not take in this information in the same way, or like feel like they can intellectualize something that that is so daunting as to like reframe the entire way that you think. It's like
Yeah.
it can really just come down to what you're feeling. Like you don't have to be sitting there ruminating on this text that you're reading or this thought
Mm-hmm.
that you're having. Like you can just sit there in your discomfort, and whatever thoughts you do have like are absolutely valid, and just the fact that you're intentionally, you know it's the intentions behind it, the intentions behind you thinking and sitting there. Like you don't have to sit and do all of the research, but I mean it's great to do that and to
I think,
know
yeah,
those things, but
doing that part is important, and I think it's not the whole thing though. It's
right.
like a very small part of it.
Right. And just the fact that that can be so daunting to so many people, which may be why like what's holding them back is like there's so much information, and how do you find it, and how do you navigate, what's ethically produced, and written, but being able to just start by acknowledging, the mind body connection,
Mm-hmm.
and start there.
Mind body connection,
Mm-hmm.
guys. That is. Can't unpack all of what that means, but I've just been sitting with what that feels like to me for. It's what I've been doing recently.
Mm-hmm.
And my body currently is not good. But that's okay.
Currently a little ill, but we can recover.
You want to talk about this trad wife thing? The phase of the 60s ideology is returning. I feel like that's like the systems of control are like the power is slipping away, and they're grasping at straws to reignite this propaganda machine they use.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really on social media, and so I'm like kind of I watch YouTube videos of people analyzing like TikTok because I don't have TikTok, and those videos are kind of the only way I stay somewhat updated on like pop culture isn't the word I'm trying to say. Cultural events.
Yeah.
I don't know. Current events,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been seeing a lot of things that, well, like all of that kind of media is owned by right wingers who have right wing ideology, who want capitalism to prevail, thus needing to reinforce individualism. And what I'm seeing on those platforms is like they're just trying to get people on the left to fight amongst each other by putting out these like made up sentiments that no one even believes. They're just saying people believe these things, and then people grab onto that and like, what, people are saying this? Like, how could you be saying this? And like, not. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just think that it's better that I'm not involved in social media, because that like kind of noise just like hurts my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And think it just takes up too much brain power because I want to think about what that means about collective society.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know her name. Nara Smith. I think her name is Nara Smith, perhaps. I don't know if I'm getting that right. But she is this influencer. I think she used to do like ballet or something.
What's that song?
Don't quote me on that. But
girl sport.
People are like saying that she's just becoming a propaganda piece for trad wives, and how trad wives are, people want to become trad wives now, like that's a goal for women, which I'm like, I don't know, how can that be true? But also, like, last week there was an article about how people aren't having babies anymore. Like, those, I don't get it.
What do you mean? Like,
how can there be a rise in trad wives if there's
right.
no one having babies?
Well, because nobody can afford to have babies, so they just cause.
Like, those are literally, that just shows there's two extremes.
Yeah.
People either, oh my god, no one's having babies.
Yeah.
What does this mean? And then there's the other end. It's like, oh my god, trad wives want to reinstill stay-at-home mom, have kids.
Yeah.
One income, dad go work.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I feel like that is what we were talking about with like the generational ideology that is being like recycled almost every so often, every so many years. And I feel like I don't know exactly what you're talking about with the transit in Pluto. I think it went into Aquarius.
I think you're right.
But I don't know
Maybe.
like when it was last in Aquarius and what happened. But I feel like I've seen a lot of things about like, I don't know, it being highly associated with just conflict and war and revolution. And I feel like that energy is kind of being brought up in a way that it was manifested in the 60s, in the most recent time period, where I feel like that was kind of also manifested.
Yeah.
And it is manifesting in both of the extremes, in like this hippie ideology, but also in like the extreme trad wife, you know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even really that long ago, and like remembering that wasn't even that long ago is like even weirder, because you know, it's like it wasn't that long ago. Like something like that could still manifest in our society.
Yeah. Kind of like how the history we learn has been colonized, and the way that we have conceptualized time has been colonized. It's like they think slavery, they put pictures in black and white just so people can think it was like so long ago in the past that we didn't even have the technology to capture the reality of the harms. And it's like, it's literally still happening right now. Like, it just everything's just leading back to understanding how power works. But we hold power too.
We will power.
And we've been recording for 33. Oh my god, I just saw 33 minutes, 33 seconds.
And didn't we start this at 1:11 or something?
I think 11:11. Yeah, 11:11 is when we sat down. Well, we started off with the question, what does it mean to be a gender? I think having conversations like this is how I express my gender identity. Because
how is gender not political?
Yes.
There's no way to avoid it.
Literally. Like, everything means something, guys. And
you can either
just
think
let
about
that sink
it, or
in.
you can feel it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the lesson.
Both are okay. You'll be on your own journey. And I think we shouldn't be policing other people's journeys, like grief, you know. People process these big ideas in their own way, and you do have to grieve when you're, like, I was learning about colonization like very heavily for a week, and it kind of like broke me down, and I had to take a break because it's like grieving the past and grieving, you know, the traumas in your family and family that you didn't even know about, and just, yeah, like it can be a lot. And I think that we shouldn't be policing people about how they're doing their growth and healing journey.
This is important.
And yeah, I may have said things wrong and misunderstood things, and that's okay. And I'm willing to take the responsibility and accountability for what I got wrong. It's not that complicated. And yeah. What we have here, trust the process of change. Trusting the process of change requires putting your anxious ego aside and trusting your intuition, the one that moves your body before the mind gets to catch up. Impulsivity only emerges when your ego takes over. So where's my ego taking me? Where is my body taking me? What does it mean to be a gender? These are things that I'm thinking about. Decolonizing self-care, using astrology for information. The context is important. We may look at culture for identity, family history. I feel like we touched on that a little bit. I guess in terms of my journey right now, I'm still just trying to understand the context of what makes up me. Because in the past, all I've thought about is me as a person, like my personality and my trauma. It's like, okay, let's think about other things besides that, because yeah, I feel like I understand the decisions I've made, and like I've over intellectualized that part, but I think it's important to understand the other parts, like the history parts. That's what I'm learning.
The existing as an individual, but still being and allowing yourself to identify with other people and for other people to identify with you.
That was so well said.
Thank you.
Well, I don't really have any other thoughts. I feel like my brain's just going in circles now.
Mine's slowing.
I feel like the loop of this itch I had to discuss these thoughts has now kind of been scratched to a scab.
We've been discussing.
We've been disgusting. Well, that was, I don't know I'm gonna title this video. Maybe I'll just title it, What Does It Mean to Be a Gender? Except I know that's, I think, copying someone else's title of their video. So maybe I'll try and title it something like Decolonizing My Thoughts. I don't know. I'll think of something. But I'm also choosing to just show up how I am in these videos. Like, I'm not editing them. And it's much better that my partner was here with me, because there's always just long silences and me just saying and like with no other words around them for a while. I'm also like not making eye contact at all, because that's awful.
Make eye contact with the camera?
Yeah, it just feels really intimate. And I look creepy when I make eye contact.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to.
Okay. Alright, well, do you have any other thoughts you would like to say?
I don't think so. I just want, thank you for having me on your channel. I always love sharing my thoughts, and I feel like we always have really good conversations, and I feel like it's fun to share them and to see
My ego definitely tells me that I have a fear of being seen, like posting this video. Even though there's literally gonna get like 2 views, me and you probably, like, I have a fear that people I work with are gonna see it and whatever. My ego is getting in the way here. Not that important. If they do, we'll have a conversation and I'll start a conversation. It's fine.
But that's what the internet is for.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going now. Goodbye.